my gosh.
I'm going to start
Wow.
the recording.
Oh, okay.
Anne. Anne is actually technically hosting, but we'll it's just us, so we'll just hang
I
out.
opened the Zoom that's the
Okay.
extent of my hosting here. This is Kim's fantastic show, as she is much wiser than me.
Nah, no, we're all in this together, I assure you. What's our motto? None of us alone is as smart as all of us together. And that is so freaking true, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably true in anything.
It is. Oh, I've got a, oh God. Things update, and I've got new screen, little action. Okay, I think everybody, great.
I can't see it, who's all on and who's not.
I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that about right, Anne? Is that what you're looking at? About 10 of us at the moment?
Yep, there's 10 of us, and there is a different, depending on how you know what version of Zoom you have. Up in the
Oh,
right-hand corner, you'll see a view option, which will allow you to have only like whoever's talking will pop up. There's a gallery view. There's an
oh,
immersive one, which will make you nauseous. So if you combine
wait a
that
minute.
with the spinning tree, then
Uh-oh. I think I screwed something up
I
here.
think you.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Yeah, I hope I didn't screw anything up.
Nope, we can still see you. We can still hear you,
yeah.
Randy. So you're doing
Okay.
great.
Oh, there we go. I got the
You're
screen.
probably on a phone, so there's probably three
Yep.
dots on the phone, wouldn't you say? The other guy.
Yeah,
Oh, that
we won't push any more buttons.
Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just
stick with it.
do it how it is. Yeah, it's great.
Well, let's start
Olivia
chatting.
wins for bringing a baby.
Oh,
I don't know if she's going to hang out for long.
that's brave.
We're gonna try.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh, we got another kid. All right, that's good.
There we go. Rename. There we go. Ooh. Crowing crest lot. There we go. God, I had to figure this out. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, well let's chat, you guys. So I don't know, should we go around really quickly and just how about I introduce each one of you, and just for like 1 minute, just say your name, your resort name, how many years you've been doing it, and then that's it. We'll just go to the next one. I'll just call you out. I'll just how I'm seeing you on my screen, I'll just go that way. So I'm Kim Bowen, Crowing Crest Lodge. We have 19 cabins, and I've been doing this for about 25 years. And do you want to go next, since you're in my top
Sure.
left?
Well, and I don't rename myself because this is the general CMR video. Ann Doherty, we are going to have our 5th summer at Wombolt's Cabins. We're also celebrating the resort itself, and the buildings are celebrating 125 years of guests next summer. So I haven't been doing it very long, but it's been around for a long time. And I'm glad to be here, and super, super grateful for Kim and all of her wisdom and all of her energy.
It's a group effort, trust me. So I'm happy to do this. I miss the community, so I'm happy to do this. Trust me. So I'm going to go to Randy and then Marie and Jeff next. So Randy, do you want to tell us how many years and what resort you're
Yep,
at?
we're coming up on season 5 now. Since we owned it, we've been staying at the resort for 30. So we know a lot of the ins and outs of what was going on there. Yeah.
Good.
So
how many cabins do you guys have, Randy?
We have 10, and 4 of them are seasonal, and then we have 7 semi-permanent RV spots.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Right in the middle there. Awesome. Marie and Jeff, we're going to go next, and then Kyle, and then Janine. Okay, Marie.
Yep. Hi, Marie. This is Jeff. Who are you? He's a comedian. We're Mission Beach Resort outside of Brainerd in Merrifield, and we have 9 cabins and 11 seasonal RV sites. And we just finished our 5th summer.
Yeah, and still. All right. Let's go to Kyle, and then Janine, and then Jamie at Lake Reno.
I am Kyle Walter. I own Acorn Hill Resort and Brindley's Harbor Resort on Leech Lake. We now have 36 cabins, 46 seasonals, 4 weekly RVs, 3 tent sites, an indoor pool, a full liquor bar and grill.
Oh, man.
And we run year round, nonstop.
Nothing better to do you, honey?
I have nothing better to do. I am the president of CMR. I am also on the Bleach Lake Chamber Board. I'm on the school board,
Dude.
and I am bored. I just got nothing going on.
He also juggles flaming torches. That's another thing that he's doing.
Oh,
I do. I get burnt a lot, though.
I can't wait to hear about that at some point.
I don't juggle it.
God. We need to come
Just
visit
my
you at your
life.
resort. We need to have like a little community, like some kind of a gathering at your place, and then get to see all that stuff. So,
Come on by the Loaded
okay.
Lone Bar and Grill anytime
I
you
thought
like.
about it actually because I see you on Facebook Marketplace a lot. I thought, I bet that's the Kyle that I know. I'm gonna get some doors from that
That's me.
guy. Okay. Janine, honey, you next.
I'm Janine from Eagle Ridge Resort. We have 7 cabins, 11 RV sites, and we just finished our 13th summer.
Nice. Yay. So glad to see you and your smiling face. Jamie, and then Olivia, and then Bonnie. So Jamie.
All right, Jamie, Lake Reno Resort. That's between Alec and Glenwood. We have 8 cabins, 3 RV sites. This is our 2nd season.
Ooh, newbies. Yay. Excellent. Olivia, please.
I'm Olivia, manager at Timber Trails Resort. My husband Damie and I managed there last year, and then we'll manage in 2026, and then we'll be purchasing it in January of 2027. And the resort has 10 cabins and 13 campsites.
Great. Great. And a lot of fun. And a big mansion. Okay.
Yeah.
Bonnie and then Jen Timberly. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Bonnie. I'm from Pinecone Lodge in Park Rapids. We have, I think, 10 homes, and we just finished a new lodge that has 6 bedrooms. And yeah, it's not renting though, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
But I know it takes time. So yeah.
I'd like to talk more about talking about not renting because you've got new things. I'd love to talk. Marketing is one of I'd love to know what other people are finding to be great tools for marketing pieces. Like, are they getting bang for their buck on VRBO and Airbnb and that kind of thing? But I want to start with the starter topic. So if we can come back to that, I would love to revisit that. If we don't this today, I'd love to revisit that. And I know Anne's got questions about it too. And I've been trying to figure out how to maybe do a little marketing Zoom, maybe in January, February, March sometime, and talk about maybe we can get some kind of more an expert on Airbnb, or maybe somebody who's an expert on VRBO or some of those platforms, and give us tips and tricks on how to get better postings and better listings on those kinds of things. So anyway, sorry, I digress because I'm with you guys. So anyway, thank you for being here. You don't look too exhausted, Bonnie, by the way. You look beautiful.
Well, yeah, thanks.
Good to see you. Jen, do you want to go next? And then Timberly, and then Trent, lastly.
All right, Jennifer Strandberg, Sunset Bay Resort. We will have 14 cabins and 2 campsites. This will be our 4th season.
4th season, great.
Yep.
Got it. I met you at conference. Timberly, honey, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry, I'm on my way to a basketball game, so I'm in the car. But Timberly Christensen Fin and Feather Resort. This will be our 48th year. 20 cabins, and I don't know, doing good.
Yes, you are. glad to have you here, honey bun. And then Trent, last but not least, that I see on my screen anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Jenny kind of covered us.
Okay. You're together.
14
right.
cabins, and I apologize. I'm in the car waiting for kids at a sporting event, so my screen's a little dark.
Got it. We're just happy to have you. Well, let's talk, you guys. Let's do our starter topic. It kind of came up at conference. Linda brought it up to me. We should have a Cracker Barrel starter around, are we paying ourselves every year a salary? And how, what's the percentage that our accountants give us? Does anybody have some strong feelings about this, or have gotten some kind of feedback? What do you guys have a sense of this? Or we don't need to know what you're making, but maybe a percentage or at least a minimum amount every year, and why? Anybody have a comment? You can maybe raise your hand or just speak at the moment. I don't think we're going to talk over each other here.
I'll start. No one else wants to.
No, thanks, Kyle.
We didn't pay ourselves for the first 3 years, almost 3.5 years. We're now entering year 7 at Acorn and year 5 at Brindley's. We started paying ourselves. It's a very minimal amount, but we needed to start showing income because it just got to a point where the business started to make money. So we needed to start showing that we were taking the appropriate amount of income. It is not very much. I don't care about money or you guys knowing what we make. I think my wife and I together make less than 40. Dad and mom take less than 20 just as a salary, just real small amounts. And then the kind of business that we run, we take a owner's share at the end based on all kinds of other factors, whatever the CPA says we take.
Right. Does your CPA call that like a guaranteed payment or I'm not accounting is my least. It's my
No.
least. So
he didn't call it that. It was just an owner's share at the end.
Okay.
Based on whatever profit the business made. That'll change again this year because we built that bar and grill, we put another $600 and something thousand into that
Do you regret
project.
not starting off at the very beginning, paying yourselves?
No, there was no way. So we started so that would be we bought in 19. So we bought in 19. We bought it 4 days before opener. Had no idea what the hell was going on. That was crazy. And then the next year was COVID. So there was no way we were taking any money out of the business then. And then post-COVID was just as crazy. So for the first 3 years, I don't think there was a possibility of even trying to budget that.
Yeah. I remember our first year, I paid myself $6,000 just to have something down there. So I did that for many years, actually, unfortunately. But anybody else have some kind of accountant advice or something that you're willing to share? I mean, we don't have to know what the amounts are at all. I'm just saying, is there a consistency? Is there a reason other than just, again, this is not my area, so I am relying. This is a burning question from a lot of people. So does anybody have experience with this? Or?
Echo kind of what Kyle said, where everybody's going to be in a very different spot on what they're doing. We're in year 3, similar to what Kyle was talking about. Didn't really want to take pay, but we could have to the tune of probably a small salary of $40,000 a year or something, but we've chose to reinvest into the business, which I still look at as pay. Our accountant, I'll let you know how ours is structured because it doesn't really matter to me either. We're currently structured as an LLC. And during that, to my understanding from the accountant, depreciation is easier and more beneficial under that structure. Not too many years down the road, we're going to be dealing with what Kyle said. We're going to start having to show making some money, where the accountant has advised us to restructure. So I'd say everybody's got a very different position and really has to pay a CPA or an expert in that area to give them good guidance.
Anybody else have comments or advice from their accountant that might be pertinent to share as a group?
I'll just jump in. We do similar where we got to the point where we had to show we were paying ourselves the minimum amount. But then we also throughout the year can take a draw, is what the accountant calls it. So basically just to pay yourself if you need it, like cash flow sort of thing. But then just once a year we get our actual salary based on whatever he says is we're supposed to take to keep it all in the good. I have no idea. Every year I'm like, why though? Why? So, but yeah, that's what we have to do. So throughout the year, we'll, we may take draws if we need to or whatever, minimal.
Is there like a minimum that your accountant recommends for a particular reason? Like, for example, I mean, I assume that one factor of paying yourself is to pay into Social Security so that you'll have something in a few years, right? I mean, that's one factor. And is there, I don't know. Is that not true or what?
Our
think
our
the biggest
accountant, our
thing.
CPA. Go ahead.
Well, I just gonna say, I think the biggest thing is when you start showing us an amount of income, you have to actually start showing that you're paying yourself as the owner. I believe that's kind of where it starts triggering when you start showing different amounts of income and then they base it off of that.
Yeah, our CPA, we use CLA, and our CPA uses the phrase a reasonable salary. So, what an average kind of person would get paid in that role if I no longer existed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's the recommendation from day one. I mean, okay.
Yeah, he recommended day one, but we just weren't making any money. So,
Bonnie, did you have a comment too? I saw you nodding your head, and maybe you don't. Sorry, I don't want to pick on you, but it sounded like you had something else to add. So, anybody else have a comment about this kind of thing? It's such a little bit of a touchy topic, but it's kind of important too. And if there's, I guess I'm trying to find my conversation with Linda Schultz at the conference. She was going towards, they have a restaurant also, and they have been told you need to pay yourself every single year. And she had this background of why, and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Let's talk about that. And she's not here to share that. So anyway, thought it would be a good starter topic to talk about. Yeah, go ahead, Bonnie, please.
I would, since we're older, so have more hindsight. Taking advantage of the Roth IRA, since employers, small employers, they don't have standard retirement plans, and but you have to pay yourself enough to put into the Roth, and I think that's a good way to save up for retirement.
We also, I have a financial advisor now a little bit. I just had a meeting with them. Anyway, we set up a simple IRA, which you guys might think about too. That's another way to have the resort match a little bit of whatever you pay yourself. And then it's a way to invest it, sock it away. And there's some kind of a great tax ramification later. You have to, the rule though is you have to offer it to everybody else who's working at the same resort, who there's like a standardized, if they work for at least 2 years at your resort, and if they are full time all the time, you have to offer it to everybody, and they have to sign off if they don't want to match that. So there's a few little kind of quirky things in there, but I was advised by them that that was a very interesting way, especially if you're an independent person, independent, self-owner, that kind of thing. It's a good way to sock some stuff away. Maybe, I don't know if that would be an interesting topic at a workshop or conference or not. Do you think it would be? Is that just too personal? Everybody's got to go find their own way, or do you think that would be of interest?
It would be interesting to me. The one thing that popped into my mind too, and like thinking about, like Olivia is a younger new owner too. Like the difference is if you can start really thinking about saving for retirement so that your piece of property isn't your retirement. So you have those choices that I think a lot of people wish they had, where they're like, this is it. Like I got to sell the land to the highest bidder no matter what, because this is where everything is, versus like I could make some choices about what I want this to look like, because nobody begrudges people needing to retire and needing money, but big difference if you've got 35 years ahead of you to think about it.
Similar to Kim in that simple IRA, we have 401k at the resort, and we offer it to all of our people, all of the employees, cleaning staff, the bartenders, the cook, the whole shebang. Because again, just like you, with your rules, when you have a 401k set up like that, you have to offer it to anyone who's full-time, part-time, meets all the requirements, 100 hours a year. The second year we can offer it to them. There's all kinds of, like you said, there's all kinds of little garbage, and then they got to opt out and sign off and all that stuff.
Do you think that helps you get better employees in the long run?
No, but it's for us. No, I don't think it does at all, to be honest with you. None of the cleaning staff signed up for it. One person signed up for it. They quit 3 weeks later after working here for almost 2.5 years. They signed up and then quit 2.5 weeks later. And the paperwork's a pain in the butt, and all the other filing stuff's a pain in the butt. But it's not really for them; it's for us, and it just happens to be a benefit. So it's nice to recruit. It helped with the cook, helps with the bartenders, helps with certain people, but most aren't going to take you up on it.
Mostly it's for you. Yep, for you and your retirement and that kind of thing. I think that might be really helpful too. Maybe we can get a financial advisor to come in and just do a little, or be at a speed dating table at the next conference and talk about what's the benefit of a Roth, what's the consequences, a simple IRA, maybe other kinds of investments, thinking about, your land versus I think there's a lot of different options. And maybe they can advise, maybe there's a strategy about a percentage of how much you should pay yourself and why. That's kind of where I'm headed. So maybe somebody out there has a formula. Wouldn't that be great if there was a formula and then we could just follow it? Okay.
And
How about other tax? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
might just chime in too that I'm just thinking of like these ones with young families, how if I wish I would have known earlier about like paying our kids a certain amount, that you can actually do that. That helps if you can start that early. Because as they get older and then like applying for colleges, it's really hard to get financial aid being an owner of a company that makes money. So anything you can start tucking away ahead of time. So there's things like that I didn't know about till I was kind of mid through a couple of my kids. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I could have been paying them a small amount and saving it for college and stuff. So stuff like that's good to learn ahead of time.
I'm curious, Timberly. Sorry, I had a moment there. Could you have paid your kids before they reached age of 14, which is the minimum kid work OSHA? I don't know, it's not OSHA. Sorry,
I think you can. I think and someone can correct me, but I think you can pay them like up to 600 without it really counting, like per se. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think that's correct.
Kyle is nodding his head like his 3-year-old is his highest paid employee.
He's our social media manager.
I'm jotting down some things. That's a great tip too. Great. No, seriously, 3-year-olds cannot be paid, but what, like 12?
Sure they
And there
can.
must be some kind of really?
No. Sure they can.
Stop. What other
There are models on our social media pages. They're in advertising.
What other tax things are you guys it's December now and it's the end of the year. Are there other kinds of things that some of these young people probably don't realize? I mean, my trouble always is I don't get the feedback from my CPA until too late to make a decision sometimes, even though I can get her most of the data for the year because we're seasonal, we're not winterized. So I can get her the bulk of the data. I just wish I had a system maybe a little bit more so she could tell me if I'm, breaking even, if I'm in the red again, if I'm, could I take more depreciation off of that? Because I know that there's some variables now with even construction, I think, depending on what it is. Like a roof, for example, it used to be you had to amortize it over a period of time, right? And now you can, what do you call, write it off, expense it out, or some of it at least, partials, something like that.
We have a meeting with our CPA, which is CLA as well. We did it about a month ago. So we had our books as close as we could. And that way we could plan any purchases, do more purchases this year if we needed to accelerate depreciation. And we kind of, again, lean on somebody that knows what they're doing. And so our biggest thing was Jenny can chime in, but she's really good about doing our books on time and quickly. That way we can give them almost complete books as soon as our primary season is over. People who run a winter business, that would be a little harder.
Yep. I've heard good things about Clifton Larson Allen. I had a great chat with them at the vendor table at the conference, and I'm thinking about switching at some point. My parents were partners in our place here, and then they recently passed, and so I've been switching. And their accountant was in Iowa. You don't need to know my story, but I'm keeping the accountant in Iowa just for another year until I process through estate matters. And then I think I'm bumping to Clifton Larson Allen. I heard that I was really impressed with their knowledge and congeniality, and it sounded like they work with a lot of resorts. And that's kind of what I was wanting. Somebody who, not from Iowa, who doesn't know anything about the the cycle that we go through. So anyway,
They have saved us as much money as they've cost us.
I heard they were pricey, but that's a good thing to hear, actually, Kyle. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. We did set up our 401k through one of their extensions as well. So they got some in-house people. So they helped us set up all that paperwork for the 401ks and all the other stuff. So
I met both. There were two people representing them at the conference. One was the financial advisor, one was the accountant, and they were both awesome. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they were great. Okay, tax stuff. I mean, I hate talking about tax stuff. It stresses me out. I feel like I need to be on Valium the entire week that I need to get all my crap into my accountant. So anyway, but I'd be happy to chat more if you guys have burning questions.
I don't have any burning questions, but I can put a little bit of something out there. I'm a bookkeeper by trade. I do not work for a CPA firm, but usually what we suggest to our clients is trying to get in a meeting in that October range, usually after October 15th, because they have another second round of taxes CPAs do that need to get done in October. So if you end up getting everything to them before that October 15th and then try to get that meeting with them towards the end of October or sometime in November, that's usually a good time to catch them before they go on vacations and all that kind of fun stuff. So having that goal in mind of getting most of your stuff in and knowing what most of your expenses and income for the year is at that time is usually pretty good.
That's helpful. Yeah. Thank you for that insight. Appreciate that, Jen.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anybody want to talk about marketing? You want to talk about
one more thing on the CLA offers all kinds of other stuff as well. So if you hate bookkeeping altogether, like if you don't want to keep QuickBooks and you don't want to do all those things, that they service all of that. So if you want to remove yourself from all of that, they can do that for you too. They have different levels of entry. So if this does stress you out that much and you want to hire on CLA, like they can remote use QuickBooks Online and take care of everything from A to Z. We kind of do our own books and then turn them in to them, or they can pull our online anytime they like. So we do our own bookkeeping and then they take care of all the rest of the stuff, including our taxes. So just so I know this stresses me out, right? If Dad wasn't with me, right, I wouldn't do any of it. I'd turn it all over to CLA, because I can't wrap my head around half of that stuff.
Yeah. I agree. I was struggling with QuickBooks too, but I'm lucky in that I have a son-in-law now who took over a lot of in fact, he's taken over all the accounting. Thank God, because I just absolutely dreaded. I was one of those people that, you get your credit card statement for your business at the end of the month, and you're supposed to split that out on different categories. In your QuickBooks. Oh my God. I wouldn't do it every month. I would wait until 11 or 12 months were all stacked, and then I'd do it all at once because I hated it that much. And I get in the mood, okay, I'm going to freaking do it. It took me 2 days, to do it. So anyway, whatever. Not my thing. So more tax stuff, or anybody got a burning question, something going on with you guys?
Bonnie's got something in the chat if you want to pull up the chat.
I saw somebody asking about a ResStream thing. Oh, there we go. Sure. Oh, and Anne does too. Anne says she'd be interested in how people decide how much to reinvest each year. She's heard 20% is pretty standard. Does anybody have a comment on that?
All of it.
Yeah, that's what we
all
do.
of it every time. Then you can buy a second resort.
I'll just be happy if the first one starts doing good.
Then you can buy a third.
There we go. Oh, there we
Bonnie,
go.
I can tell you that we have done it and gone through the process. So if you want to even James did it for us, and there is like a walkthrough, like that did get posted to the website, that has all of the details about like here's the fact, here are the things that you need to do, and he even shared some like template, like this is what you should send to them. So James is on another call right now, so he's not. I can't have him pop on right now, but he'd be happy to visit with you more. But there are some resources. I'll actually drop it in the chat. That's on the general CMR website.
You're talking about the question or comment about how
the deed
bookings are. Oh, say again.
Oh, I was answering the deed question. Sorry.
Okay, deed question. I'm not to that one. I've got Bonnie saying, has anyone filed for seasonal employee for paid leave? I wasn't.
That's the deed one as I was thinking about it.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Yes. So it's on the website, is what you're saying. All right.
Yep, I'll drop the link in here in a second.
Probably under education, maybe conference stuff, or is it resources? Maybe
I'm going to tell you this: the website. I'll close your ears. Is so hard to update and navigate, and I'm pretty savvy with this. But it took me a while to post it to find where it was again. So you actually going to get an email tomorrow with a link to it, scheduled anyway tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anything else people are dealing with? My day was all about, we have a new construction cabin going on right now. So I had huge conversations with my electrician and the plumber, and the main frame is up, thank God, but they put two windows way too high. They're actually taller than the door. So that's got to come back. So I'm having some fun with that today. I've got to find a little, anyway, the fun with construction. I don't really have any burning questions. This is like, I don't know, like 10th cabin or something. So, but it's my last one. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not doing any more. I'm done remodeling for, well, at least a big, huge, all the way to the ground stuff. It's so high. We put it up 2.5 feet tall so that the guys could get under and access down below. But holy shit, it's so high now. We were planning on, we modeled it after another cabin and putting a handicap ramp off of it. But with the height now, if we put the ramp like we did the other cabin, it would go right to the center of the cabin next door. So we had to rethink that and put it on the side. And anyway, whatever. I'm going to have guests yelling at me, I know, but too bad. If I prep them with my annual newsletter, hey, that's a question. Does everybody do an annual newsletter to your guests, or some kind of, how often do you reach out to your guests?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Twice a month. We send out newsletters bi-monthly. Is that bi-monthly?
Who creates those, Kyle? Holy cow. Really? So
Yep.
how much data? So like my annual is like a full page on a back and a front. That's it. And I send it in an envelope. And you send.
So ours are all through MailChimp.
Yep.
I send them out, like I said, twice a month. One of them is usually geared towards like rentals and stuff, and the other one is geared towards, hey, this is what's going on. And then we'll send out additional ones during like this time of year when the ice road opens. We'll send out another one saying, hey, it opens and the restaurant opens and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, we send out twice a month. And then my social media, we post somewhere between 3 and 5 times a day across all platforms, across all pages. So 13 pages get blasted 3 times a day.
Holy cow. How do you find people responding to that? Do you have, I mean, is there
So
like
my open rate is somewhere around 40%, which I've been told is very good. We blast, just on it right now. I have 4,596 contacts that goes out to it, and I get a 40% open rate on that. Yeah, obviously I get unsubscribes. I always get unsubscribes. I probably get, I don't know, 10 or 15 every single time I send an email. Sometimes it's 2. The social media blows up big time. And now we have just under 13,000 followers on Acorn. And then across the other pages, there's probably another 15,000 across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, across both resorts, the bar and the grill, and a couple other things we have.
Do you think you get a lot of reservations through the social media pieces? I mean, yep, a lot. Yep. You've got a lot of cabins to fill, so you've got to be doing whatever you can, I'm assuming. And that sounds
Yeah.
like you're down there.
I will tell you
MailChimp,
the off peak stuff is what seems to push the the off peak stuff is really good. So like
meaning
during the
November,
winter time,
December.
like
Yeah, okay.
I get more bookings off of Facebook during the winter than I do Facebook any other time. So fish houses and ice road and that sort of business is very social driven.
Yeah.
4th of July, summer stuff, no. It's the same people that's been coming to the 4th of July here since, 3 owners ago, like people like that.
Does anybody else send out newsletters? Or I think Kyle is he's going to be at the very high end of social media stuff. And I bet there's a lot of people who don't do anything. So are you who's in the middle there? I send out one annual newsletter.
Kathy has been sending out an annual newsletter every year since they owned it, which was like 13 years. She used to send like a one-page printout in the mail, and then she started sending it out as a PDF attached to an email. And then this year I made it like a clickable link that we sent in an email, but I'll probably do like a MailChimp or Constant Contact or some sort of email newsletters in the future. But we just sent ours out right before Thanksgiving. It's more like a holiday card. Like it's like a year in review about the resort. It's a lot of pictures. I made mine on Canva this year. In the past, she's made hers on a Word doc, but it's a lot of pictures. We post our Fishing Wall of Fame winners. We post like information about what we did this year, or like we had a big cabin remodel. Here's like the projects we've worked on, what's new. And then she in the past has done like pictures of her grandkids and her family, and then just like a whole page of pictures of people that have stayed at the resort this year. So it's very photo focused. It was like 6 pages long this year, but like I said, it's like a scrollable PDF.
Awesome.
We send out not through MailChimp, and actually we're moving to a booking platform that I feel like we're going to use more of that sort of email communication with. I am BCCing people, and again, I don't have 10,000 contacts because we haven't been in business that long, meaning James and I, with Wombolts. And I find that people are really responsive, and I'm a little bit nervous that when I move away from that, because I think people think, they feel like they're getting an email from me. Like it feels like the personal connection versus like a newsletter. And that's not intentional. It's not like I don't want to do newsletters. I'm too busy to do newsletters most of the time. And so, but I will say, like, I had crazy success last week. I sent an email and I hadn't sent one very embarrassingly because I've just been so busy in a really long time, and had huge traction. Like we got like 5 or 6 phone calls. I immediately had a couple bookings that happened. It was crazy. So it was just a reminder, like do something. Don't wait for it to be perfect. It doesn't need to be the most fantastic graphic, but I'm gonna quick chat GPT up this message and get it out was huge for us. So that's been a big deal. But I would like to do more of it. And we haven't taken advantage of any of like the text communication with guests that I do wonder. Trent, was it you that was talking to about this today? No, I guess it was maybe Brian Putnam. About like, I like to communicate via text so much that would that even be a better communication vehicle, or does that feel too personal? Like would that turn people off? So it was an interesting thing that I hadn't really considered before.
I don't think text would turn people off if you have a system that does it, because my guests have gotten a hold of my personal cell over the 2-3 years. They just text me out of the blue now instead of going through the resort stuff.
That
I
sounds like a
will tell
nightmare.
you, I get more unsubscribes from our texting than I do our emails.
Oh, interesting.
So we use Resstream, and they have the Akia app. And when I do more texting, people seem to unsubscribe from the text messages much faster than they unsubscribe from a newsletter email.
If they unsubscribe to you, is that you personally, or is it a different? I mean, my email is my resort email, so will they not get a text from me if I need to text them about a question or something later? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you're in the Akia app and
Yeah.
you text, use that for notifications and things through ResStream.
Okay.
If they unsubscribe from that, you can no longer text them through the Akia through ResStream. So I don't use that for that kind of communication. I use that for, hey, there's a storm coming in. Get your fanny off the lake now. Hey, power's out. That means water's out. No bathrooms, XYZ. I use that for emergency notification stuff because, again, I had people unsubscribing from that kind of stuff.
I'm glad you said that, because we talked quite a bit at the roundtable at the conference about that. Between you and James talking about all those advanced features on ResStream, I was intrigued by that. So I definitely want to get a little bit more information about that. I have a comment about newsletters and the mailed snail mail versus all the social, that kind of thing. My experience has been I got to a point maybe about 10 years ago where I was like, my God, this is a lot of money to put things in envelopes. And I've now gotten it off to a printers who they will actually stuff it in the envelopes and they'll stamp it and they'll do everything for me. So that's great. I just have to create the newsletter. But I went off for a little, at least for the bulk. We have about, I don't know, 2,500 names and contacts in our database, which is quite a few for a small resort. But what I found is I went to email I felt like it was just going to one, because I only had like one email address in the party and was just getting to the one person who may be at their office during a busy day and might scan it and maybe might read it, maybe not. But I can tell you that my mailed snail mail newsletter gets passed around to the family. I hear it gets on the refrigerator. It gets I have so many comments from people. I get
I
dozens
agree.
of comments from people in the summer going, "Hey, I loved your newsletter. Thanks for sharing. I love following I mean, they haven't been here in years and they love to see that. And I get a lot of bookings from the annual newsletter. So I'm definitely going to keep doing it. And I've really gone back to the mail thing full all out, unless I get it back in the mail as a bad address, and then I'll try to email them, that kind of thing. But that was my experience with that. So, and oftentimes with the mail thing, I'm a writer anyway, so I write weird, funny things. But oftentimes I'll put some of those in my welcome book too, because there's pertinent information throughout further years. And so it's another way. I definitely have a voice and a character, people say. So I like to keep that on there. I'm intrigued and I've thought often about doing the MailChimp thing. I used that for Lake Association when I was president, and MailChimp is very easy to use. I think it was free up to so many contacts, and then you have to pay if you have like more than, I don't know what, 1,000 or 5,000, you've got to pay per month to use that feature. I know, but it was really easy. So I don't know if it's intimidating for other people, but don't be intimidated by MailChimp or things like that. They are pretty easy to use. So
No, very simple.
Any
The
more
snail
comments
mail
about?
thing.
Yeah, please.
I was just gonna say last year we sent out a like 1-page letter to all of our neighbors. Like we went on the GIS website and pulled the mailing addresses of everybody who lives on our lake, and we mailed them a printout that just was like, "Hey, we sell gas and bait and ice and have grocery items." And I felt like we got a lot of people off the lake and people creating new off-lake accounts this year after doing that. Like they can create an account with us
Nice.
and charge stuff, and we had a lot of new people create accounts within the summer.
You were
Nice. Very
coveting.
smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want the neighbors over here. The exact opposite. Like, go away. I got my own little town here. Leave me alone. So, but I could see, yeah. I remember Tom talking about when you guys got gas. So it's a big deal. And you want to sell some more things in and Kyle too. I can see that.
We also said, I don't know if you can see this, like my family Christmas card, like
Wow.
thing that we sent out is an ad for Wombles. that we send to all of our friends and family. And it also goes to everybody on our mailing list as well. So every guest gets what they feel like they're on our Christmas list. I mean, they don't feel like it. They are on our Christmas list. But at some point, like even one of my kids this year was like, really? We're commercializing our Christmas. And I'm like, well, it's part of the family story. It's part of what we're doing. So I find no shame in it.
Word of mouth advertising, I tell you, is a big deal, right?
Yep.
Still, everybody finds that. I remember a long time ago at one of the conferences, I think it was Jennifer Bateman's father when he was still alive, who was one of the original founders of CMR, by the way. But he spoke at a conference about how those people that have already come, so your guests that have come even just one time to your resort, you don't have to sell them about your resort. They already know. They just need to be reminded that you're there. So why not use that database that you have? It was a great topic around that. And anyway, so those of you who haven't, we all strongly encourage you to do something, right? So I don't know whatever you're comfortable with, right? I think I can only handle one right now, but I'd love to think about more.
You can do more, do more, do more, put it in their mailbox. You could do it. Use chat. Chat does it, every single one of them for me. I give it its topics. It pulls all the data. It drops it in. I put it into Grammarly to make sure that it's all comes out in English, and I put it back into MailChimp and I hit send. I am done with my newsletters in both newsletters for the month in less than an hour.
Wow. You've got a system down.
Yeah.
Same thing with the socials.
That's inspiring.
I feel like you need to buy 4 more resorts just to keep yourself busy.
I'm trying.
Right.
Well, I'd love to know more about marketing.
Joking.
So, we just talked about, the power of people who've already come to your resort. What other avenues have you guys found effective? Are your chambers? I mean, my Chamber of Commerce is not great with that. I feel like I'm just kind of looping there. EMT, I mean, they used to have this deal section, hot deals. I loved that. And they went away with that. I have not updated my EMT website listing. Have you guys? I haven't even connected. I haven't not even thought about it. It just feels like it's lost in there.
Does anybody offer incentives to their existing guests to bring new guests? Like tell them, hey, if you bring me a new weekly guest, I will give you a $50 gift certificate to, whatever nearby bars, restaurants, whatever.
No. Anybody have a comment? I would not, because it feels like a slippery slope for me. I think that there was another conference topic that happened. There were 3 of us that spoke about how to fill your shoulder seasons, and Jim Worley, Jim and Kristen, he spoke about trying to get his summer guests to come back in the fall, and he gave them a big break and a big special to come do that. And that was a great way for them to fill their shoulder season. I already have a bunch in my situation. I have several families that come 3 times a year, like spring, summer, and fall. And I run couple specials. So, but it takes time to get that built up. So you almost got to try something, I think, sometimes and see if it works. Has anybody tried that incentive that Randy's talking about?
We do offer a second state discount, which is what we bought Jim and Chris's resorts. So it's what they had in place already. And that does seem to help a little. We got a few that'll come and do a second stay.
Yeah, they were big proponents of it.
We did the same thing this year. That if they had stayed during the summer, they got a discount if they came in the fall. We got a couple of people. I actually ran the risk where the code allowed for them to use that discount for the booking next summer. And so somebody did it and I saw it right away. I caught it and had to call them and say, you're not eligible for that and undo it. So that put a little fear in me of letting codes get out there too. So.
Interesting.
We don't do any discounts. We don't do any
I
discounts
was
because
going to
it
bring that up
just,
again. Does anybody do military discounts? You don't do any discounts, Kyle?
so we do a military discount. We do a 5% military discount across the any cabins and stuff like that, but we don't offer short stays stuff. We don't offer, hey, this week is open 50% discount. We don't do any of that. It just that guest that's looking for that is not a guest we want. We did that early. We did that our first couple of years to fill in some stuff. And that guest is a atrocious guest. They want twice as much of your time for half as amount of money.
Yep.
And
I agree.
it doesn't work. So we stopped doing that, I think, after year 2, and we've never gone back. We do a military discount of 5%.
Do they have to be active and they have to prove it to you? Okay.
We say that they have to prove it to us. I've never had to pull a military ID. You can tell like 99% of the people who walk in and they're like, I need a military discount, or I got this, or I'm a first responder. It's like, okay, sounds good. Do it. I'm not going to question any of those folks.
Yep.
They've done way more stuff for
Yep.
us than I could ever do for them anyway.
Does anybody else offer discounts that work?
We give
or specials?
We give 10% off any referrals from our seasonal campers to rent one of our cabins. We also are kind of fortunate enough that if anyone else is in this situation, we have a seasonal only campground right next door. They don't have any cabins. So we offer them their referrals to us. We offer them 10% off as well.
So how does that work? They recommend a friend of theirs. The friend books with you, and that friend gets 10% off their booking, or does the referrer person get some kickback?
Nope, the refer person doesn't get anything. It's just the person that would book with us. They just tell them to call. We even have a code they can put in on our website if they book online, or they can just call us and say, "Oh yeah, my mom and dad have a camper next door, and we want to book a cabin," and we give them 10% off.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
You have how many temporary sites, Marie? How many temp?
We have 11 seasonals.
11
but next door, they have
no
75 seasonals next door.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
a lot. So you guys have 11 seasonals, but no overnight, only, one or two nights. Okay, gotcha.
Technically, we have one like tent camping spot, but we really only let people that we know, or once again, family and friends rent that spot.
Got it.
For a few different reasons.
Nope, I know those reasons. I have 3 tent sites. I know those reasons.
Yeah.
Weirdos in the woods. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Well, and like you were saying too earlier, Kyle, like when we bought the resort, they were offering all sorts of deals. I feel like would make one up every call she got. So our first summer, not to mention she didn't use a computer system. We had to read like all her chicken scratch of bookings. So we'd have guests show up like, "Oh, Lois said it was book one night, get one free." Oh, really? Or, book 2 nights and get one free is what I was told. And we're like, oh, well, not this year.
And we thought they were pulling our chain, but then we asked the old owner and she's like, "Oh yeah, they've been coming for 10 years. I always cut them a deal." And it's like, "Oh, you're killing me. It's Memorial weekend and you're giving people buy 2 get ones."
We run into that problem a lot because the old owner cut so many deals with people, and now that you're trying to get away from that, people are like, "Whoa, that's not what Don would have done." I'm so tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
It'll stop.
Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, our resort when we bought it was really run down. It was owned
Same with ours.
Yeah, the same couple had it for 45 years. It was more or less their family's playground, and they didn't take care of anything. They let everything fall into disrepair, and so
I feel your pain.
Yeah, they never took a credit card until we got here.
Wow.
5 years ago. So just having a website, taking a credit card, and then having the unique challenge of having to increase rates and occupancy
at
the same time. it's kind of the reason we got in on this roundtable is because we've had to reinvest everything we've made in this place
Yep, same
first
with
5 years,
us.
and like now we're just kind of over this hump where you can only write off 3 out of 5 years on your personal taxes, and this is year 5, so we gotta actually make money and and try and make a living out of the place, and
yeah,
it's been very interesting with the old customers,
yeah,
especially the ones that were kind of here when we got here have been a little bit more trouble
yeah,
than the old customers that just stopped coming because of how run down it got. Well, now they come
right.
back
Yep.
and they're happy to pay the price because the cabins are nicer and they don't complain about anything, and it's been really great, but long road to get here.
We find just the opposite. That a lot of the old customers liked it that it was run down because the price was cheap, and they get mad when you're fixing stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, and like we reorganized our campground the first year we were here. We closed on the resort the morning of opening fishing and then took our first customer that afternoon.
Wow.
And
Been there. I love that.
And we knew right away, like we had to reorganize stuff. We actually ended up eliminating 6 RV sites just because we thought they were hindering, the cabins.
Oh,
And we, the old owners, they didn't care about the cabins. They got their seasonal RV money and they were happy about it.
yeah.
And then we're like, well, the bread and butter is the cabins. We got to flip this thing. And we basically said, hey, we're right after the 4th of July, we said, we're reorganizing this. You can stay here, but you can't stay right here. I'm telling you now in case you want to find someplace else to go.
Yeah.
And they all stayed and they're all still here, surprisingly, which is amazing. And we've somehow managed to raise their rate 50% and put them in worse spots, and they're still here. So I don't know.
Keep going.
Yeah, I feel like we've done a lot wrong, playing this
Nope.
riding the razor's edge financially and just building. But you want to hope it's like Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come type of thing.
Yep.
I don't know. So thanks for the encouragement. I thought I was nuts pretty much.
Nope.
Nope.
If you raise your rates 50% and you lose 10% of your guests, you're still making more money.
Yeah.
So keep going.
I
Keep
feel like
going
we should
until
have
you
like
have a vacancy in your RV park. We have 46 seasonals. I have a waiting list of 213 seasonals to get in.
Wow.
My rate now is $4,600 a seasonal site.
Really? That's fantastic.
What do
Keep
you
going.
do? That you do all their own mowing?
They don't do we do the mowing. They just take care of their weed whipping around the edges. And that doesn't include a dock space. A dock space in the harbor is another $1,000. If you're on a lift, it's another $1,000. And they got to buy their own lift.
Okay. Yeah, we're just at 3,000 a season, but they do their own trash, their own mowing, their own docks in and out. And I kind of forget about them down there sometimes because they do everything. So
we get probably somewhere now with the bar and grill. We're probably making somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 a seasonal. But by the time they buy their gas, buy their bait, all that stuff.
We should probably. I just want to interject. Wait. We need to interject. We can't talk about prices of a rate of something. You can talk about percentages, and we can talk about our incomes, but we don't want to be accused our group of price fixing. So if we able, so percentages or go look, or income is fine, but the price or rate of something. We got to be careful with that. Okay, sorry about that. I don't mean to stop the conversation.
No, you're fine.
Just keep going.
Sorry, you're right.
Seasonal sites are good for you guys who are doing seasonal sites. I looked at them and thought this is not for me because I came from an apartment background and I just didn't want to deal with people who. I like just having cabin and campsites because if there's an asshole in the group, excuse my language, they're going to be gone in 6 days. I don't have to confront them. It's hard. It drains my energy to do confrontations. So you just got to do it part of the job. Some, especially guys, they don't seem to care. I mean, it's not a care. That's not what I mean. It doesn't seem to put a lot of stress on them. Like my son-in-law, he has no problem talking to people and telling them how it is, but it drains my energy, and I'm the one that has to do it, unfortunately, because I'm the owner and the buck stops with me. But anyway, sorry. More with seasonals. Did you want to keep going with the seasonal questions you guys have? I mean, I don't have seasonals. Does anybody else have them that has questions or some kind of follow up to what you guys were talking about? And by the way, Marie and Jeff, you guys are doing great. And I wanted to comment that there is no wrong decision or wrong choice. There's just choices. That's it. And if something feels like, oh, maybe we should have made a different choice earlier, stop, throw that up. It's just a choice. And you're learning. There's no bad choices. There's just things to learn from. That's it.
Oh, that is for sure. You learn more from the mistakes than the wins. And also, one of the things I try to be really good at is not falling into that sunk cost fallacy where I think, oh, I've put so much into this, I can't change direction. It's like sometimes you just got to cut and run.
Yeah, that's
You
tough.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Especially trying to, yeah, boats and motors for particular. Like, oh my God, do I keep humping this darn thing around or should I get a brand new one? Those are hard choices for sure.
I think it's also really valuable to have these kind of pep talks. Like I worry about occupancy a lot. Like I want high occupancy numbers. And at some point when Kyle was yelling at me, he said like, no, you don't want 100% occupancy.
Yeah.
And I had never thought about it like that. And so having these moments where you really get to say, here's what I'm worried about and let somebody else share their perspective, like these, the Cracker Barrels in general, but that's been super helpful because I think a lot of us who are newish, there's doubt that creeps in where you just like all of this stuff where you think, was this a good idea? And honestly, I was terrified about being on the resort tour because I thought everybody was going to get there and be like, ooh, what did they buy? This is a terrible idea. And it was so nice. I mean, honestly, I was afraid that people were going to come back and they were like, well, we thought she was kind of an idiot, but now it's clear. And it was so affirming. Like I met Kim for the first time. Kyle was like, oh, I thought this was kind of a garbage place initially. And it's quite nice now. I'm like, oh, that was nice. Yeah, it is true.
Well, I was there. I was there when you guys very, very, very first opened. I drove over there with a welcome basket.
And then he ran away immediately.
And then,
like, well,
you guys weren't there, but I drove in and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a resort. But when we did the resort tour, it was awesome.
It's impressive as shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It truly is. I mean, if nobody has visited in this group, you need to go visit her resort. It's just remarkable the way they've.
Well, I mean, it's not any more remarkable than anybody else's, but I guess for me, what was helpful is like being vulnerable actually boosted my confidence. I was so afraid of feeling beat up and then realizing like, oh no, this is helpful because we are here to cheer for each other. And that's really valuable.
Yeah. If you are 100% occupied, your rates are too low.
I was going to say something also. I remember a wise resorter at a conference told us if you have 90% occupancy, if you're at 90, you probably have too low of rates. You need to raise it a lot more than you've been raising it.
And don't feel bad when you raise your rate, whatever percentage you raise your rate every year.
I heard Ann say that from the other room, and I had to come in. I was like, "Why is Kyle harpooning her occupancy rate?" But now you have a really good rationale behind it. I thought he was messing with us.
No, I'm serious. When we're
smart.
right around 85%, that's a real comfort zone. And then when COVID, post-COVID, that area, we ended up being like 98% occupied, and we're like, that's too much. There's no way that our rates should have us in that 90 percentile. Like it's not right. That means we're below market.
Also, when you think about operating, I mean, we haven't had to worry about that because we started from scratch. But do you also feel like running the resort at 100% or at that higher occupancy is actually harder on the resort too? Or you're like, no, I want to charge a ton and.
No, flipping 36 cabins instead of flipping 30 cabins is a whole lot harder. And having to occupy another 50 some odd people in the other 6 cabins is harder to do. And it's more stress on the pool and the beach and and all the activities that are going on and everything else. It's harder to do. So if you can make the same amount of money and have, a third or a sixth of the less people on your resort, it's okay. If I don't have to flip a cabin on a Saturday morning, it's okay.
Say, Kyle, when you judge your percentage of occupancy, do you do Memorial to Labor Day? What do you use?
No, so yeah, pretty much it's Memorial to Labor Day. It's the week-long rentals. Everything else is extra. So fishing opener to Memorial is extra. That's occupied every week. That's 100% occupied pretty much Thursday through Sunday. My shoulder season's there in the beginning because I'm on leech. The walleye opener is always full. And the weekend after opener is always full. But when we go from Memorial to Labor, that's when the occupancy, we hover right around 85%, 83%.
Okay. I was just curious. We allow short stays up until Memorial Day in the spring. The Saturday following, we require Saturday to Saturday all the way until the week before Labor Day. And then Labor Day, we allow short stays again. So we end up with usually, I think, 13 or 14 weeks, depending upon the year, that we kind of gauge our occupancy. And it sounds like that's kind of how you do yours as well.
Same. Yep. Same. Actually, those are the same weekends. So we stopped this year on August Saturday the 16th. So we have 2 weeks there where it's kind of messed up before Labor Day starts. But yeah.
Yep.
But if I could not offer short stays ever, I would do that. So everyone in and everyone out at the same time is so much easier than 3 in, 2 out, 5 are coming in, 3 are leaving.
Has anybody explored or tried not hitting the 30-day mark, but say a 28-day stay in the fall or in a slow shoulder season? We've got some guests that are starting to book almost 2 weeks, and I love it in the fall after that Labor Day weekend. I'm curious if anybody is out there trying to market, like I said, maybe a 28-day stay in the fall after Labor Day, if it's working.
We've done it. I won't do it again, probably, or I would maybe do it on one of depending on which cabin it is. It was great at the beginning. But and Kim can speak to this better than I can. I had really great experience this year with doing event weekends. And so what I realized is that I could make, it was nice to have that long stay in September, but I could do these successful weekends where I actually am making. So we did a reading retreat for women where we brought in an author, and I made more per night on those nights than I make in July. So it ended up being really profitable and not very much work because I didn't have to do too much. So we probably move away from the longer term stays because it gives me the flexibility to keep those cabins open if I can book a couple of weekends. Because now people are paying $200 to or $250 to $350 a night or an experience, and I can pack people in. So anyway.
I have the opposite feeling. We have at least 3 guests that stay longer than 30 days, and we actually write them leases and take the taxes off of their stuff. And it's fantastic. I don't have to flip the cabin. They're there all the time. Sometimes they leave for a period of time and then come back, go home and come back.
Could you charge them enough? That was my thing. How much?
I charge them their weekly rate. They don't get a discount.
Wow. You're kidding.
Oh,
gosh.
They're not getting a discount.
And that's why Kyle is smarter than I am, because I definitely gave a month-long break.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No discounts. Family doesn't get discounts.
We're the opposite spectrum, buddy. I tell you, I'm the one that does all the special.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
There are no discounts.
Oh, I've got 2 for 2 deals. I have 10% off week. I have $100 off week. And, oh Lord, yeah, I've got a lot of specials. I'm the one that's really annoying. Sorry, you guys. So whoever buys this after me is going to be annoyed as shit when they buy it. People.
I love that about both of you because you both are incredibly successful in different ways. You know, like I love that these are both true.
Mm. Yeah, trying to market those, those 2 weeks before Labor Day is a tough one. So we've always offered a little bit of a break there for those.
So that being said, in that August timeframe, that last week in August, we do a camp. So that's when our muskie camp is. So 8 of our cabins are full of campers that pay, I can't say how much they pay. They pay a rate that is more than the week, but it's an all-inclusive thing. So they eat for free. The guides are things, it's an all paid in thing. So, and we do that same thing the first week in June because we struggle our first full week. We struggle there. So we do a walleye camp in the first week in June, and then the last week in August is muskie camp. So that's how we fill those with quote unquote experiences
Smart.
that are done. But again, that's not a discount. We make money.
Yeah. Tough kind of things. Yeah. I retreats are my deal. And then so Memorial Day weekend is Memorial Day weekend. And then the next weekend for us is our Spring Healers retreat. So we've been full, all 19 cabins for we had a waiting list to get in for the healing retreat the last few years. So that's successful for us. And then I see the next week and a half as a little, I don't know what you call it. I do a little 2 for 2 special right before, boom, June 10th or whatever, when we go started. So my summer is typically 11 weeks. Next year, of course, will be 12. And I don't know where you guys put your extra bonus week. We put ours right before July 4th week. So I think it's June something through July 3rd. Ours goes Saturday to Friday, by the way. And oh man, that was a huge impact us during COVID.
Yeah.
Instead of Saturday to Saturday, we started kicking them out on Fridays. And boy, what a big freaking impact. And I did not want to go back to Saturday. And I still have my experienced guests really, they got in my face a lot last year and I kind of had it. So too bad. I'm just like, you need to go somewhere else. I actually wrote a couple of people leave feedback forms. That's a big thing too. I'm a big proponent about feedback forms. From day one, I put a feedback form in every single cabin because when they're checking out, yes, people will tell you a couple of things, but they won't tell you about the 10 things that you might want to be aware of. Whereas if they've got time throughout the week, they'll jot, hey, did you know that there's a slow drip under the kitchen sink? And oh, by the way, the charcoal grill has got it's burned out or it's rusted out the tray underneath. Those are things that they forget to tell you at checkout. So I like having those feedback forms in the cabins. We leave them on the dining table. I'd say we probably get 5 or 6 filled out of 19 cabins every week, and it's a great piece of. I was very wise, or I'm going to pat myself on the back about that, but I didn't want to hear just negative. So at the very beginning, when I wrote it, I said, what's your favorite thing about the resort?
Yeah.
And then what things could you see to improve, or what things would you like to see here? So we also get the positives too, but it's important anyway. Feedback also, that was a big topic at a conference. We did a whole topic on feedback forms about different various kinds of things. I think Tom Pingle did a great job at that. I think Thunder Bay Lodge, and it was very impressive. Do you guys do any feedback whatsoever? I know that Kyle solicits it. I know that Anne does. Does anybody else solicit, or please share your experiences about feedback? And I thought, by the way, just to give you a parameter, I thought we wouldn't go any longer than 7:30, 90 minutes. I thought was plenty, if that's okay. I could stay all night talking to you guys, but I figured that it's nice to put a little bookmark on it so that it will tease us for the next time, because I'm hoping to do one of these every month if we can. Anyway, so feedback forms. Yeah. How's that going? Anybody have comments about feedback or soliciting that or getting reviews?
We ask for suggestions and reviews, and a lot of people don't leave a review either negative or positive. They always say they will, but then they never do on Facebook or on Google review or anything like that.
You got to make it easy for them, I think, Randy, right? Kyle and Ann, you got to make it easy. And by that, they mean you've got to give them I don't know, what do you guys
So
say?
yeah,
Email or text
we
with a
use
direct link.
we use Akia. So when they check, they'll get a text message 2 days before they check in with updates and stuff, and then the morning after they've checked in, it'll say, "Hey, how did we do our first morning? Are we missing anything in the cabin? Blah blah blah." And then the big one is upon checkout. So about 10 o'clock in the morning when they've checked out at 9 a.m. or 9:40, they'll get a text message saying, "Hey, how did we do? Blah, blah, blah. Rate us 1 through 5." If they rate us a 5, Akia automatically sends them the link to our Google reviews saying, "Hey, thanks. We really appreciate it. Can you make this public? Put it on Google." And then if they rate us 1 through 4, it sends them a message then after saying, "Thank you for the rating. How can we improve? What are the things we need to do either on the resort or in your cabin?" So then it kind of pulls them away from Google. So there is no negative review. That just comes back to you. So that's what we've done. And we just turned that on this year. And I've had more Google reviews this summer than I've had for the last 6 years.
Okay. Huh.
And it could be simple too. I mean, there was a few years, the reservation software I had previous to the one I'm on now, which I hate. I'm moving to ResDream. Oh, anyway, but ResMaster had a little feedback form too. I don't know what reservation software you're using, Randy, but I bet there's some kind of a what do you call it?
We're not using anything.
Yeah.
Something that there's it seems like all softwares have some kind of, what am I looking for? Not adaption, feature. Thank you. God, brain feature that you can use for eliciting feedback. Thanks for coming, or we hope you had a good stay. That's the opportunity where you can customize that language and say, if you had a great time, great. If you didn't, you can actually pick and choose that too. If you're needing reviews, if you don't need reviews, you don't care, don't worry about it. Another way that I use to solicit reviews is, I don't know how many times people leave shit behind, a lot, that if I mail something to somebody, I'll often just say, "Hey, don't worry about paying us back, but if you had a great time, I would appreciate an honest review on such and such," and spell it out so that they can do it. It's a lot easier if you do it via email, because then they can just click on it. I mean, the mail, you don't want to put it in the mailed package, because who's going to type out 16 characters? Nobody. So that was anybody else have suggestions on feedback or reviews?
Does anybody have any trouble with that? And obviously not every guest, but we have some guests that it's like, wow, they wreck stuff and don't tell you about it. They'll poke holes in screens. The kids are playing and everybody's drinking so much they're not watching the kids, so they're pulling window treatments right off the wall in the cabins, and they check out and you go in there to clean and find out that there's all these, they're not awful things, but it's like, if you wreck something, tell me so that I know ahead of time, and don't just leave. So just wondered.
How would people handle that?
My husband loves to say, "I can't believe, how could they break something like that?" It's just like common. So we just kind of expect it.
Yeah. Well,
to say it.
We have a lot of small stuff that gets broken throughout the year. If it's not major, heads up would be nice, but we just kind of suck it up, fix it, and move on. 'Cause if it was something big, I would talk to the person or the guest and reach out. But some of it's kids that aren't telling their parents, and then we're turning something into being a confrontational thing with a parent when it was a child. Probably our biggest area of problem is our game room, and we know that's kids. So I don't want to create a confrontational environment. If we have a bad week, we'll go around and talk to every parent and say, hey, we're having a problem or something like that. But we try not to get too confrontational on minor stuff.
Yeah. You don't want to
We
drive
did
a guest away.
in the new lodge. We did add security cameras. Not that I look at them, but there is that sense of someone's watching you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we didn't have anything this summer, and it's a brand new building, so I was a little scared, like it's not attended. I mean, it's just open.
Yeah.
When I'm not there. And it was probably better this year than it was other years when, it was an old lodge. So anyway, cameras did work. I hate them, but it did work. And that was suggested by the group there before I built it, that I should put cameras in.
Sure. Okay.
Bonnie, I'm going to sidetrack. James, if you want to offline talk to James about the deed stuff, he's happy to like chat with you. Or if you want to ask more specific questions, he is now available. So I could swap out with him. It's up to you.
Oh, I can do it later. If you can just send me the link, it's fine.
Okay.
I was going to comment about dirty cabins because yes, it's 25 years. Yeah, you get some doozies, right? I've written some stories. In fact, a lot of my resort stories. I'm writing a book about shit that's happened to me at the resort. So I've got about 50
I will
stories.
read that book.
17 are really fleshed out. I have one called The Octopus Story, which is all about one really dirty cabin. But what we do now is if we get, like we had an upset, we call it an upset last summer. We had a group that came in. They rented 4 cabins of group. Grandma and Grandpa paid. So clearly 2 of the cabins who we know the kids were in, and we had no contact with them because it was only Grandpa and Grandma that came in face to face. So they didn't probably get all of the rules, or maybe they didn't care or whatever. They're not paying for their cabin. Why do they give a shit, right? That's kind of
Right.
that I got.
That's what we've got.
But they had, the kids had wrecked the screen door. They had scratched a cherry table. There was junk everywhere. So dirty, blah, 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 right? So we, between Emily and my stepdaughter and I, we wrote a letter and sent it to all 4 of them because we had all 4 of their addresses, not particularly knowing actually which kid was in that one, but we felt like it was good for all the family to see that, hey, we had an upset. These are the things we're upset about. We're still willing to have you next year, but we just would like an acknowledgement that we have, especially the screen door, which is going to cost us, a good $75 or whatever it's going to be to
Oh, yeah.
We just want an acknowledgement. I wasn't even asking for an apology, but it's important to ask for an acknowledgement and that we're having an upset and we would like things to be different next year. Well, in this particular situation, Grandpa had texted us back and emailed, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. So of course it wasn't the kids coming, it was Grandpa and Grandma, but whatever. He actually sent us a check for $100 to replace the screen.
Nice.
That was unasked for, but generous. And when they came this year, it was left better, a lot better. All the cabins were a lot better. So there is something to be said. If you've got one that's really driving you nuts, I would either not rent to them again or make your wishes, make your upset known. And
Right.
I agree with everybody else too. We let so many things slide. If it's just like one or 2 little things, oh my gosh. But at some point, there's an above board.
Yeah. No, these people have stayed with us now for 4 seasons, and they usually rebook when they leave. And I don't think they're rebooking again because we were kind of short with them on a few things that they wrecked. I mean, I could give you several. Their behavior is terrible. I mean, they eat chocolate and popcorn in the beds, and it gets crushed into the sheets and everything. And it's like you got to be kidding me.
They're pigs.
Yeah, they're just pigs.
We found scraping marshmallow goo off the ceiling one time, and I remember writing about that. I'm like, how does it get up here? How do they not? Whatever. Anyway,
right.
Yeah, I feel your pain, buddy. I'm feeling your pain.
Okay.
I think that if they don't rebook, you're going to be relieved, right?
That's what Brenda says.
That's what I say.
I always hate to lose a customer.
He's worried about the money. It's not worth the money.
It's not. That's exactly right.
When it takes you 4 hours to clean their cabin and you're supposed to turn that over by that afternoon and you've got more cabins and your cleaners don't show up,
Yep.
It is not worth it.
No.
It is not. You will find that opening will be attractive to somebody that suits you.
Right.
Found it very interesting that as these newbies are giving out their energy, sorry, I'm talking on a different plane here, but it is interesting that you're naturally putting out energy of who you are, and your new people are going to be attracted to what you're offering and the choices that you make and what you're doing and how you plan, how you lay out your resort and how you project and market your resort.
Right.
Yeah.
Those people. So they're naturally going to find you. So don't be scared about that. I feel you though. I know what you're talking about. But, don't be scared, Randy. Your wife is right. It's okay. Get them out there. You need better people in there, and you will find it. Have faith. You will find it.
Yep.
Anybody else?
It is up to your discretion if you want them back or not. It totally sucks to lose a customer, but
yeah.
We had to do it. Same thing. He was here. This family was here 3 or 4 summers in a row, and every summer it was something. And it got one summer it was just too much, and they're not welcome back, and it sucks. But it's always up to your discretion too.
Yeah. And these people rent our 2 biggest cabins for 2 years, and then last year they rented the 2 biggest and then a 3rd cabin. I mean, so that's significant income.
Yeah.
But when it takes you that long to recover from them, it's it's hard to say it's not worth it because it's still money, but your time
would be a hard one.
We get it too. Like ours that we told couldn't come back is the brother of one of our seasonal campers.
Oh boy,
wow.
That's a little rough.
Well,
but
these people were actually a gal that I used to work with before I retired.
Oh man, painful.
So, yeah, it's it's a touchy situation, but
but every year it got progressively worse too. So I don't understand. I mean, when we were younger and had kids and renting cabins, I mean, I didn't vacuum, but we left it decent. We didn't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
People have different standards of cleaning. So if they don't know that you're upset, they don't know how to fix things.
Yeah. I think we need to be more clear about how to leave the cabin. Our expectations for checkout, we don't really have that posted anywhere, and I think we need to work on that. I think that might help a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not with them, but but with others.
I actually have a cleaning guideline list, and it's on the back side of my feedback form, and that's what I leave on every dining table. So I leave the cleaning guidelines list face up and the feedback on the bottom. So that cleaning and of course, kind of funny, but I don't think every resort's got a little bit different expectation, and I don't think there's anything wrong. In 25 years, I had one person say, hey, why are you telling me how I should clean? One person. I mean, everybody else, oh, I get it, and I try to be funny about it. Take your garbage to the dumpster. You don't have to make your bed, but please, if you use dishes, I'm glad you did, but wash them and put them where they live. That kind of thing.
Well, that's why they call them housekeeping cabins.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I've written so many stories about that. That's some of my main upset, I tell you. I wanted to touch on, because we've got 2 minutes left. Bonnie, I see in your chat that you want a res stream day. Actually, it's funny. I was talking to Ann about this earlier today. I spoke to. We've already talked. I've already been talking to Jeff at Res Stream about that. So I don't know, because I'm wanting to do a demo, and I'm doing a demo next week with them, with my son-in-law, for our resort. I thought about opening it up to everybody, but we kind of thought, well, there's a lot of personal stuff. There's a lot of crap. So let's do that first. And then let me take the temperature of a group and see if they would be interested in doing a demo again. I'm thinking about maybe we should start with maybe like advanced features for first a half hour, and then anybody that's a beginner or something can come in at like half an hour later. But any beginner can actually come to the beginning and just kind of hear an overview macro perspective of those advanced things to kind of tease them a little bit. So is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Okay. I'll see. I'll just throw it out there.
I mean, I think you could, I think for sure we could schedule it, and then ask people to RSVP, so you make sure that Jeff's not, driving in for no people. But I think you'll get people.
It'll be a
Well,
Zoom demonstration.
Bonnie was saying that we could do one. She would do one in person too.
Oh, where does Jeff live? I don't even know.
He's in the Twin Cities. And my gut about Jeff, we are not customers of his, but I admire him deeply. My gut is that he would come up because I think he's actually kind of an educator at heart. But there is something shoulder to shoulder with people instead of on Zoom that I think is valuable. So we could ask him. And honestly, Bonnie, if you would like me to coordinate with Jeff for it, and Kim, like I'm happy to do that on behalf of CMR. Or if you want to coordinate it, could be Zoom, could be in person, and then we promote it. Either I think is fantastic. Okay. Unless Kyle wants to overrule me or weigh in on it.
Zoom is probably going to be the best way to do that. That way he can just screen share and show you everything that's going on. I prefer an in-person meeting, obviously. And I think if you can get past this first Zoom kind of tutorial oversight and you want to have him come out to your resort, he would do that in a heartbeat.
Bonnie, what if we just did like you did something in person at the lodge, and then like I brought like appetizers and stuff, and we did another Park Rapids meetup in January?
You mean at a luncheon kind of a thing? You mean like
or early evening or something like that? We combine a little, like you do a Zoom version, and then if Jeff wants to come and do something in Park Rapids, since there is such a heavy lift of Park Rapids area, we can talk to Jeff and see what he thinks too. But if Bonnie, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, Bonnie. There you go.
Sorry, there we go. It's kind of like, you just have a work day of just saying, okay, I'm going to get all of my letters right. I'm going to like make sure my res stream is all in place and doing a good job. Does that make sense? And then it has all of these other little hidden things that it can do that, I don't know about, or I haven't explored, or I just don't want to take the time. I just want someone to say, this is how you do it. And I go, oh, and then I'm there doing it on my site while they're explaining it. Does that make sense? Or do you think that would be too hard to?
No, Jeff will set up. I had that meeting with Jeff before setting up the Akia and all the other stuff. And I'm going to turn on my online bookings because that's something I still don't do.
Really?
He'll sit down. He'll have a meeting with you. I had a 90-minute meeting with him and just was like, hey, I gave him 2 weeks. So I said, go through my res stream, look at what I'm not doing. Look at all my stuff, look at the features I'm not using. Can you just look at all of it? And then let's have a meeting. And he did that for me. No cost, no nothing. So
that might be
I love that.
personal. Yeah.
So maybe it's more of an individual thing. I just didn't think that he would just, that if he had a group of people, it would be different.
He'll do it on an individual basis.
Well, but if we have a group, then you also get some of the shared learning and the community building. And if we can tie that into a little bit of food and, bitching about guests, that might be fun.
Always fun. Yes, always fun. Well, it's a little past 7:30. I thought maybe we've got busy lives, and this was fun though, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Doing okay, cool.
Cheers to Kim for getting this moving and going and being the wonderful leader and visionary that you are in our community.
We've missed you, Kim. We've missed you.
I've missed you guys, truly. I've missed the community for sure. I felt isolated the last couple of years, so it's really good to be part and just I feel like I'm in my tribe here. We're bitching about the same kinds of issues. I'm like, yes, I feel your pain, man. Oh my God. So wonderful. Well, if you've got any starter questions, that kind of thing, email me directly. We'll get some. I've got a whole list from previous conferences. I've got plenty of starter topics. I don't think we're going to be bored going around. So
next month we need to talk about when people bring a dog when you don't allow dogs. We'll just leave it for that.
Oh my God. Endless things for sure. I planned it at 6:00, and I'm thinking next month we'll try a Saturday, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's a good time. So I thought if I did a variety of different time frames, that would hit lots of different people. I don't know if you have any feedback about timing, I'm open to that. Okay.
We could post a poll on Facebook too.
True. That sounds good. Well, let's say goodnight to each other and thank you very much for coming. It's good to see you guys. Oh my gosh.
Great to see
I wish
you all.
together, but this is good. This is good. So maybe we'll see you next month.
Okay. Have a good night.
Fantastic.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
Thank
See
you.
how